Okay, second time's the charm, second time's the charm. It is certainly the Monday after the holiday weekend. It is certainly a Monday feeling to today. So my apologies to those that caught that I did not have audio on my first video, so we are doing this again. It is 8:30 this morning, July 7th, 2025, talking about the severe potential in Nebraska for today. Rain chances, specifically in Lincoln, southeast Nebraska. We were looking at a potential 2 rounds of thunderstorms for today. There's still a small chance for some thunderstorms this afternoon, but I think that chance is largely waning, and really our chance for more rain comes not this afternoon, but late tonight into the overnight hours, this being midnight into 3 a.m. and so on, in which we'll be watching for some weakening thunderstorms to move in. So southeast Nebraska, not really included in the overall significant severe threat for today. It's really western, central, and northern Nebraska that you see the enhanced risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center for the first time in 3 weeks since mid-June that we've had an enhanced risk somewhere in the state. So this could be significant. Those areas included in that enhanced risk include Sydney out toward the Panhandle, up through Valentine, O'Neill now firmly included in this latest update, almost toward Kearney, Ord, Greeley areas, McCook, toward Imperial and southwest Nebraska. And this does extend into South Dakota, but of course we're largely focused on Nebraska. So as you look at those colors, again, Lincoln, southeast Nebraska included in the green, marginal level 1 out of 5 risk, just some isolated severe thunderstorms possible, largely by this evening and the overnight time frame. The orange, though, with the enhanced risk, we're looking at numerous severe thunderstorms possible in western Nebraska. We're looking at more persistent, potentially more widespread severe weather. A few of these could be intense. So keep that all in mind. We're going to break down each severe threat, starting with tornado. Now, when you're looking at these colors, green, brown mean 2 to 5%. That doesn't sound like a lot. In terms of an overall tornado risk, it is significant. Isolated tornadoes, more probable for areas of western and central Nebraska, really western Nebraska. And we're not looking at significant tornadoes, but we're looking at the brief spin-up type of tornadoes with any storms that can kind of get going by themselves before they turn into more of a cluster through this evening and overnight tonight. So largely still isolated tornado threat, maybe a couple out in this area. Switching to now the large hail threat, this could be significant. When you start to see black hash marks on any of these tornado, hail, wind threat maps, we're talking about significant severe weather potential. So the black hash marks showing up on the hail map, meaning that some areas out here in western Nebraska could be seeing 2-inch hail, if not a little bit bigger. That would be in the earlier life cycle of these storms too, as they're forming with the tornado threat, largely the hail threat, and then you see the damaging wind threat extends further east in the state and actually bumps up to a 30% chance within 25 miles of a point for a larger area. But seeing the black hash marks with the wind threat, that means up to a 75 mile per hour wind gusts could be possible over this area. So all severe weather hazards on the table. Again, these probabilities drop off for southeast Nebraska. Not totally worried about severe weather here in Lincoln or even toward Omaha. If we see anything, maybe 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail. What I've been including in this morning was a model that did carry some thunderstorms through southeast Nebraska this afternoon, but there were a lot of models that didn't show that at all. That's why it was kind of lower end confidence that we saw any of that today through the afternoon. We could stay completely dry and just wait for this evening round that arrives on the heels of that potential first round. So what you're going to be looking at here is an area of thunderstorms out in western Nebraska that'll move east, and there's a second area of thunderstorms up north through South Dakota that dives south and east. This is 9 o'clock. These are kind of forming more clusters by this time, but there's a storm out here by itself toward Columbus. some of these storms are still kind of isolated in nature, that isolated tornadoes, maybe some large hail coming with these. You'll see it's the area of storms coming out of South Dakota, though, that is more persistent. These storms through western Nebraska back off a little more as they move east, and it is these clusters here that hang on through the overnight hours to give us some shower and thunderstorm chances into early Tuesday. Maybe waking some of wow, words are hard this morning. Maybe waking some of us up overnight tonight into early tomorrow, but maybe with some heavy downpours, some smaller hail, some lightning, before that round wraps up by the mid to late morning hours of Tuesday. Then talking about the rest of this week, beyond today into early tomorrow, a couple days in the 80s, kind of below average temperatures for this time of the year. We then warm to the 90s by the middle of this week, toward the end of this week, and then more thunderstorms will be possible mid to late week. The risk for severe weather, as it shows up in the state of Nebraska as of Monday morning for the next several days, looking beyond Tuesday, we've got a risk for severe weather on Wednesday, July 9th, just a marginal risk over similar areas that are under the gun for today, and then north central Nebraska again Thursday. This is a day 4 risk, meaning possible severe weather. This usually kind of turns into a slight risk in this area, so some of us could be included in a marginal risk for Thursday. So some other days to be aware of for severe weather this week as we head into the first full week of July. Of course, we would appreciate you liking, subscribing. I say we as in me. I've gotten up to 200 followers now on YouTube, and it's great to get this information out to a lot more people. So like, subscribe, and you'll kind of be in the know as to when I'm posting these videos, kind of keeping up to date with the threat of severe weather in Nebraska as those updates become available. But there could likely be a watch issued for western and central Nebraska later today, so I'll turn to social media, Facebook, X, things like that, to post some of that. So this will probably be my last YouTube update for the day today, and if there's more needed this week, kind of stay tuned for that. But for now, just like and subscribe, and again, apologies, this is my second video going through all this because my first video did not have any audio, so I apologize. It is truly a Monday, but that is okay. Monday feeling for sure.